Join Mark Lewis and R.O.A. for an exclusive interview with Peter Klett. He is known as the popular rock band Candlebox's guitarist. Real rock and roll news. From the legends of rock, you found rockonamerica.live. We're bringing rock and roll to America and beyond. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
Cue the spotlight on Peter Klett, the self-taught maestro holding the reins as Candlebox's guitarist. Born amidst the rhythm of the rain in Seattle, Washington, and raised in the harmonious hum of Bellevue, Peter's life has been one symphonic journey. Candlebox is an American rock band from Seattle, Washington. Since its formation in 1990, the group has released 8 studio albums, several charting singles, a compilation, and a CD plus DVD. Formed in November 1990, Candlebox originally consisted of lead singer Kevin Martin, guitarist Peter Klett, bassist Bardi Martin, and drummer Scott Mercado join Mark Lewis and R.O.A. as they delve into the world of this prodigiously talented guitarist. Discover the man behind the music, the story behind the strings, and the passion behind the performances.
I have the absolute pleasure of talking to a gentleman. The band is extremely well known. They need very little introduction. Without further ado, is Peter Klett from Candlebox. Did I get your last name right? Or is it Klett or is it Klett?
It's just Klett.
Okay. All right, cool. How are you doing, Peter?
Pardon?
How are you doing today?
You know, I'm doing fantastic. Running around, getting guitars worked on, packing, laundry, everything to get ready to go tour.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Let me start off the bat with this. What is your favorite guitar in the world? If you had your wish list and you could have one guitar, what would it be?
Oh, boy, that's a good question. I can't because there is no single guitar that I would like to have.
I've
spent most of my career playing Gibson Les Paul.
Okay, I have a Gibson Les Paul Cherry Burst.
Okay, yeah. So, it's, you know, they're usually between 77 and 80. Those are my favorite years.
Why? What about those is your favorite?
And you just caught me on a base here. The guy that worked at the Gibson shop making the pickups at the time, I really liked the way they sound, and I'm running a blank as to what his name is. Tim something. But there's something about those years, the wood, the feel of the neck, the sound of the pickups, everything about it was just good.
Nice. And when you were a kid growing back, let's go back really quickly just for a couple minutes here. What music did you dig on? What did you like listening to? And what was the one thing that got you to want to do this for a career?
Well, you know, growing up with an older brother and sister, you know, my sister was a teenager in the 70s and the disco, yet she liked the, you know, the 70s stuff. My brother was a few years behind her, so I got a lot of mixture of, you know, late 60s, mid 70s, early 70s, all that stuff. Coming out of their rooms, you know, my brother in particular, I just remember, I always tell the stories, that he always came home with a record and he would go in his room, put it on the turntable, you know, and I'd hear the needle hit. I'd think, oh, what's coming, you know. And I remember the first time I heard Dark Side of the Moon, the first time I heard Highway to Hell by AC/DC, the Eagles, you know, Led Zeppelin. I mean, for me, it was, you know, like, what is that? Of course, he kicked me out of his room, but, you know, it made an impression, and so I always have a deep love for that stuff. When I picked up the guitar, by then, I was a big fan of AC/DC, the early AC/DC
Chaldean progression that they had in their music? Do you think that's what it was?
Well, just the music was cool, but yeah, they had a certain flavor to their solos, and the rhythms of the guitars and sounds and the techniques. So yeah, it was definitely a part of it. Because between A.J. Smith and Dave Murray, there was similarities, but yet you knew which one was doing the solo at the time. So, and all the guys of that day, but again, it's a mixture of that and people like Michael Schenker and David Gilmour is, top 5. Jimmy Page is top 5. Tony Iommi is top 5. So, it's a combination of 70s and 80s.
Cool. And why did you want to do this for a career?
Well, every kid dreams of being a rock star. So, really I just wanted to learn to play guitar. And then as I kept playing, the dream of being a rock star and making a band and doing all that, drove me to start a band in high school and used to go to a friend's house and jam after school for hours and hours, and it just kind of progressed, and I just made a goal of somehow, do my damnedest to get out there and try to make it in the business. And thankfully to the guys in Seattle that helped break that door down, I got a great chance. Well, I appreciate that, but I, spent many hours getting to the point where I was ready for that.
Yeah, let me ask you, I'm going to say a couple things to say first thing comes to your mind, and we'll go into the new record if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, Woodstock 94.
Nuts, crazy, hot, sweaty, millions of people.
Growing up influences, how do you think your influence growing up in Seattle?
Well, Seattle, I'm sure this has been said 1,000 times, but you're in the rain for most of the year, and it's wet outside, and as a kid, you still go outside, but as you get older, you sort of retreat from that, and when I was playing guitar, obviously you're inside listening to music and playing for hours and hours, so just the environment created that mood to want to be inside, and obviously I played guitar while I was inside, and that really helped a lot.
I'm gonna say a couple names. Tell me what comes to mind. Kevin Martin.
Memory.
Why do you say memory?
Because he remembers everything all the time.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I'm like, what? When? Where? Very smart, great memory, motivated, go-getter, talented.
Okay, Scott Mercado.
Talented, loopy, very kind, artist, good person.
Sean Hennessy.
Quirky, the kid, Steve joined and we call him the kid. Quirky, energetic, outgoing, very likable.
Adam Curry.
Wonderful, kind, intelligent, very even-keeled, pleasure to be around.
And what is the one band that you've toured with before, just before going to the new album? Last one. What is one of, and it wouldn't be fair to say the one, but what is one of the bands that you guys would love to go back on the road with again, and why?
Rush.
Why?
Because that was the most fun we had opening up for a band. We did open up for Metallica, and I did enjoy it, and I liked the challenge of it. But it was just different with Rush. It was just much more laid back, and they were extremely cool and hung out quite a bit. Okay,
cool. Fair enough. And you guys have had everything from the self-released up to the current album, which is called Love Stories and Other Musings. Why did you decide to found that name?
Because it just made sense combining all the ideas. Kevin writes the lyrics, and he had this idea. We kind of all threw out. Actually, it was going to be named something else entirely, but
to be called originally?
Until It's Over.
Okay, why were you guys thinking that?
Well, my analogy was, I'm going to do this and stick to this until I can't go any further, until it's over. Keep it going no matter what it takes.
Cool. No, that would be a good song title. I could see that. When you guys put an album together and you put songs together, do you guys, like Metallica has generally had a definite formula where when they first started it was Cliff Burton and Lars Ulrich, and then after Cliff had passed away, it started with the guitar lines first. Do you guys have a set formula like that you always work with, or could it be anything from like a song lyric to a drum beat to just a word? Is there a definite formula, or how do you guys do it when you guys create material?
Well, we all used to do it as a band on the first one and the second one. As soon as Kevin moved to LA, we weren't obviously sending files back then. So nowadays, it's two of us live in Seattle, three of the guys live in LA. So it's basically I work here with Scott, they work down there, and we send things back and forth via the internet. And then we come together and work the songs out. And that's what we did when we did this record. So these days, I don't know if there's a set formula yet, but the last few records, well, more so this record, wasn't done entirely in different places, sending files back and forth and adding to that. Into the Sun with Kevin and I doing a lot of work at my house here, him playing the drums and then bringing Scott in. So this is the first record that really was written and put together in different states.
Do you think that was more challenging, or do you think that overall made it a lot easier and more streamlined of a process doing it that way?
I don't know. I think that, well, I know that this record, we had Adam and Sean was a part of the writing much more than the last one. So I think for Kevin having them down there, for him to be able to get his ideas worked out, and have Sean and Adam be able to work their ideas out with Kevin, I think was fine. It was a little difficult for me just not having Kevin here, or the band fully here, but in the end it worked out well, and I think we've got a good product from it. Okay.
And there are two versions of the album, the deluxe and the regular, and we're mainly going to talk about just the new album, the regular album. But I just want to let everybody know about the deluxe. There are some extra recordings on it. What were those? So if people want to go get both copies or whatever, what's on the deluxe version?
Well, you can either just buy the deluxe and have it all or not. The deluxe has re-records of the classics, Argon Change, Cover Me, You, Simple Lessons. I'm not understood that. And then there's a cover song and another original that's kind of a B-side. And I'm not exactly sure who gets what yet.
Right.
So as soon as it comes out, you will know what I know.
Well, that's okay, and it's coming out. It's coming out here very shortly. Let's do this. Let me start out with "Believe in It," which is the lead single, basically. What was the idea behind that song, and what do you really like about that song?
Well, that came from a riff that I had here that I just started digging around with one day, and it was kind of very Sabbath. I wanted to open the chorus up. Kevin's theory behind it is that it made him think for some odd reason of Michael Jackson. We started thinking of him and his childhood and growing up and whatnot. And then it spawned him thinking about his son Jasper. And so he wrote those lyrics based upon his son, what kind of man that he'll be and what he can do as a father and make sure that his life is good and that type of thing.
What song really challenged you guys the most? It was, call it the song that, you know, you look back on it and go, wow, you know, let's put that away for a while, let's not touch it, and you come back at the end of the day, and then it comes together. But what was the song that challenged you guys as a whole?
I don't know. It's a hard one. I think the one that became the song "Turn Your Heart Around" was essentially nothing like the song that you're going to hear in its first conception. As far as the biggest change and the biggest reconstruction of the song, it would be "Turn Your Heart Around."
Okay, and did that go? Was it like it went from more of a ballad to more of a rocker, or what was the change that happened with that song?
You know, it's actually kind of a bad pop song, and it just ended up changed the tempo and changed the approach of it, and it's actually one of my favorite songs on the record. Cool.
Well, I was going to ask you that was going to be my next question, but let's go this way on it. For the band as a whole, what seems to be the song that you guys like most off the record? I mean, we can just say today, because I know these are like your children.
I couldn't tell you. I know that the songs that I like to listen to the most are "Them Eyes," "Come Home," "Turn Your Heart Around," "She Come Over Me," and obviously "Believe in It." I like that song a lot.
Okay, let's mention two more really quick. "Memos," and then just pick out one more. Maybe let's go with what's going to be the follow-up. First of all, what's going to be the follow-up to "Believe in It"? Do you guys know yet?
We do not know yet.
Okay. What would you personally like to see as a follow-up to "Believe in It"? If let's say the fairy godmother came down and said, "Peter, any song that you pick, it will be the follow-up." Which one would be the follow-up for you?
Yeah, that's a tough one. If I could just put a song out that I thought would be cool, would be "Come Home," but I think it's probably going to be "Sweet Summertime."
Okay, let's talk about those two really quick, and then we're going to wrap up. Just tell everybody a little bit about those, whatever you can talk about those two, if it's okay.
Well, "Sweet Summertime," from what Kevin tells me, is about his love affair with being on tour and the enjoyment of it, yet he has to leave his family at home, you know. "Come Home," I couldn't tell you lyrically at this stage of it. He's told me and I forgot, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay, and then let's do one more because we can squeeze one more in here if it's okay. "Memos." What do you really like about "Memos"?
Memos?
Yeah.
What do you mean "Memos"?
Did I get that right? Was it "Memos"? There was a song that you mentioned in there that the songs that you really like, and maybe I heard it wrong. Oh, this is my
"Come
fault.
Home," "Them Lights," "Them Eyes."
That's it. That was it. I'm sorry. I misheard you. I'm sorry about that. "Demise."
"Them Eyes" is another one of those pieces I had sitting around that I wanted to do that I went down to LA and showed them, and we all worked it out, and I just love that it has so many different elements to it. It's a longer song, and it has, it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I just like the vibe of it, you know, the lyrics, the music, the interaction of the two guitars, you know, it's just a really pleasing song to listen to.
No, I understand that because, you know, I have those songs too that when I hear it, there's just a vibe to it, there's a feeling to it. I understand that.
Yeah.
But let's do this because we've got like just over a minute left, slightly, so I'm going to wrap this up. First of all, everybody can go to candleboxrocks.com and they can find everything you need to know about you, including the tour and everything. And are all the RSS feeds up there too for like Facebook and Twitter and all those things like that? They can find you guys that way too?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And when officially does the album come out? Just so everybody can start looking at it. April 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's April 3rd, Love Stories and Other Musings. Can I get you to take us out of here? And this is how I like to do it. There's no right and there's no wrong. Just anything that you like to say to anybody, anything that comes across your mind. And with that, Peter, first of all, I want to say thank you to Kim for setting this up, first of all. I mean, she was absolutely wonderful. Second of all, I want to say, before I let you take us out of here, I want to say thank you to you for taking the time.
Sure, no problem. Well, obviously, we don't exist without fans coming to the show, so I'd like to just say thank you to them.
Okay, cool. And anything else you want to say hi to the guys in the band or anything?
Nope. I'll see you soon.
Okay. Well, Peter, thank you very much, and I'm going to say interview over, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem, man. Anytime.
Hey, I really appreciate it.